Speaking about my fear of spiders, you guys know I don't like spiders. Okay, spiders, they peeve me off. I don't like them unless I see them. And I know it's not reasonable, right? Like I know spiders, they're not actually evil or something. But I saw this video recommended to me, The Terrifying World of Giant Insects What Was Earth Like During the Carboniferous Period. And I kind of want to watch this on stream because I love prehistoric LARPing. I played Ark Survival Evolved so much. And since they're talking about how I'm scared of spiders, I feel like maybe we should go to the root here. It's Destiny, he's banned. It's not that Destiny. It's not the fucking Destiny political streamer. It's just literally like Nat Geo on YouTube.
350.
Yeah, that's Destiny. That's the cuck dude that blue hair. Yep, that's him. That's him.
Years ago, long before the dinosaur era, planet Earth was a very different place. Endless tropical swamps teeming with towering ferns, intense humidity, and a high...
This is just Florida, by the way. Like, I live here, and this is just what it's like already. Just so you know. Just so we're clear.
Oxygen level in the air created ideal conditions for flourishing life, though not the kind we know today.
Like, are we looking at the same thing over there? That like 10-foot tall millipede or centipede, where the hell? Like the gun goes off. The shit is blown smooth off if I see that. Like that is one of the scariest things I could ever imagine. I wouldn't even attempt to live because that thing can crawl on walls. It has no fucking emotions. It just wants to put acid on you, I think. I don't know.
The Carboniferous period was a strange, otherworldly era dominated by giant insects. Ever-present swampy tropical forests absorbed carbon dioxide through photosynthesis and released immense amounts of oxygen into the atmosphere. This raised the oxygen level to a record 35%, more than 1.5.
Is there not that much oxygen? Is it like 10% now? Why did that happen? Hopefully this video tells me, because I feel like why did we evolve to...
Of times the safe level for humans.
Like, yeah, he's saying it's the safe level. Why can't we have more oxygen? Why does that hurt us? Wouldn't that make us stronger? And like, we had to take really short breaths and we're getting really freaking like not out of breath. Like, I just got like a gallon of air. 21%? But 35% really is that?
Such high oxygen levels became a powerful energy source for living organisms in this primeval jungle world. It was the perfect time for early vertebrates that were beginning to evolve but haven't quite adapted to life on land, as well as various invertebrates that grew to astonishing sizes.
I wish I could be that fish that grew legs.
Time of aggressive centipedes as long as a car.
Fuck no! Oh! Hell no, bro. You're bringing up millipedes the size of cars and dragonflies the size of a hawk? Dude. Fuck no. Why would even, like... Why would a fish even want to grow legs to live in this world, man? This is awful. Stay in the water, man, with the sharks. At least they're predictable. They haven't changed in hundreds of millions of years. We got fucking dragonflies the size of hawks. I'm not dealing with that though. Like I would literally burn I would do things in Mother Nature that she would not appreciate if I lived back here and I had a nuclear bomb.
That resembled modern hawks and giant spiders and scorpions.
Dude, that's just pushing it too.
A bull terrier,
a dog
dominating the swampy jungles. The Carboniferous was an epoch when giant insects ruled the planet, transforming it into your worst nightmare.
It is my worst nightmare, man. This is just Florida and Australia combined. How'd they even manage that?
If you were to find yourself in the jungles of the Carboniferous period, the first sensation you'd feel would likely be lightheadedness, a sense of dizziness, and dim vision.
That's so weird.
This would be due to the excessive oxygen levels, so abundant that even a small spark could ignite wet wood.
Why? I don't understand why you would be worse off with more oxygen. Because like, wouldn't that just mean you would be more like your body would have more oxygen for less work? Like, I don't understand how that would be bad. Because you'll explode? Why would you explode? I don't...
Looking down, you'd likely see your feet sinking slightly into the swamp, which would be typical since high humidity and swampy environments were a hallmark of the Carboniferous. But the real spectacle would be happening above you. in the sky. If you lifted your gaze...
Too much oxygen means more air in the brain, meaning your brain will start flying out of your head. Okay, I actually started fucking reading your message like you were dropping some science. I was actually starting to like read it, like trying to process what you're saying. You just rage bait me. Your lungs would physically explode. It's like when you're a baby and you can't drink water because of their liver. What the hell are you even talking about?
You'd see something similar to birds flying overhead, their wings emitting a loud buzzing sound and a noticeable vibration in the air.
Hell no.
These were giant prehistoric butterflies, known as Paleodictyoptera.
Bro, that is not a butterfly.
The wingspan of a typical representative of this species
butterflies are pretty...
averaged 16 inches, with the largest specimens reaching up to 22 inches, nearly 10 times the size of modern flying insects. Paleodictyoptera were among the largest winged creatures of the Carboniferous.
Hell no.
Their name, meaning ancient netted wing,
Bro, I see a fly and I can't live in the same house.
Wing patterns, which resembled a delicate mesh. In addition to 2 standard pairs of wings with vibrant patterns, these insects also had small projections near their heads that may have acted as stabilizers during flight. On their heads, they bore a proboscis used for consuming plant fluids, an early example of adaptation.
Wait,
to
were they
this
not?
type.
They consume plant food. I thought they were carnivorous. They don't eat people, or not people, but small animals. They wouldn't do that. I feel like they're so big.
Aside from their huge size, Paleodictyoptera had no way to intimidate you. They were harmless herbivores.
I'm looking at a giant stinger on its tail.
Paleodictyoptera had...
You're telling me that stinger is just for show? It doesn't do anything? I'm looking at a fucking 6-inch blade dangling off a hawk. And I'm just like, oh yeah, it's Jill. He's going to go for the plants. Imagine the meat on these big ass bugs. You think it tastes like? I just didn't want to imagine that. And then you said it. Dude, it's weird. Like, you would eat the bugs like they're like beef. You'd be like, oh, it's like turkey. You just, oh, it's lean. It's 95% lean. Yeah, all you gotta do is get past the exoskeleton. Although, honestly, is this any different than eating a crab? It's an exoskeleton on the outside, you break, and there's meat on the inside. What's really the difference? It would be big enough so it wouldn't be as gross.
No way to intimidate you. They were harmless herbivores, interested only in the nutrient-rich juices of plants. The same could not be said of a ground-dwelling predator of the Carboniferous, posing a deathly threat to anything in its path. You wouldn't have trouble spotting it, since it was the largest scorpion in the planet's history, known as Pulmonoscorpius.
I remember these fuckers in Ark Survival. Where are my Ark Survival heads at? Where are my Ark Survival veterans at?
It reached up to 28 inches in length.
Dude,
for reference, the largest modern scorpion, the Emperor Scorpion, barely grows to 8 inches. Pulmonoscorpius had a massive body covered with a chitinous exoskeleton, providing excellent protection from other predators. Its large, powerful pincers, equipped with sharp claws, allowed it to catch and hold. How
much money for you guys to get into a octagon, like UFC octagon, with this thing? Because it's like 2 feet long, which means you could take it in a fight. And let's say if once you kill it, you get the antidote to its stinger, right? So you're not going to die from its poison if you kill it quick enough. And insane amount of money. I think even if I did it for an insane amount of money, I would have like PTSD after this. Like this would be like one of those. This is like fighting an actual alien. I would be so afraid to fight this.
Meanwhile, its curved tail with a venomous stinger served as a death sentence for the prey captured under the pressure of the pincers. Pulmonoscorpius was an active predator that, as a rule, hunted smaller arthropods.
I hate their little eyes. It's like 2 feet long, so you can take it. What a time to come into stream. Okay, well, we're missing some context here. We're talking about, you get it.
Mollusks, amphibians, and reptiles. Found both on land and in water, its adaptation to the water environment made it thrive as a predator in ancient seas. And if you wouldn't have trouble noticing this giant scorpion the size of a bull terrier, it would also easily spot you. It had 2 pairs of eyes.
Why? We don't need 2.
Spatial perception, and another lateral pair likely for detecting light. Additionally, it may have had sensory receptors on its body, further enhancing its ability to navigate and locate prey. If you didn't consider yourself an arachnophobe before encountering this nearly 30-inch venomous scorpion, you might develop a newfound...
That one does not look as scary, bro. Those are some really skinny arms that it has. I feel like I could grab that arm and like whip it like this, and it would like, arm would come off, body goes flying. Like, I feel like I could take this guy. I feel like I could take him. What's up, Birthing Hipster? How you doing? So much oxygen makes the body produce a harmful molecule called reactive oxygen species, and it damages cells. This damage is called oxygen toxicity. It can hurt your lungs and brain. I know this was like forever ago, but I thought I'd share. 30 inches ain't that big. Okay.
Fear. But for now, let's return
Those messages
to the
back to back.
Carboniferous skies, where in addition to benign prehistoric butterflies, like Bailey Dick the Opera, we encounter winged predators. This predator would look strikingly familiar, as its descendants are around today. Dragonflies. Except these were anomalously gigantic, over 10 times larger than their modern relatives.
Dude. Is that Meganeuras? What are they called?
Meganeura was...
Can you guys fucking show some goddamn respect on my goddamn name? You see that? You see that autism fucking flowing through my veins right now? You see the fucking autism and Ark Survival Evolved gameplay just flashing before my eyes? Thank you. You're so fucking smart. Peak autism. Thank you.
It's one of the largest flying insects of all time. Looking at it, it's not that different from a regular dragonfly, albeit giant.
Bro, that thing
and
eat you.
It kind of is, with a wingspan of 2.1 to 2.3 feet, and a body length of up to 1.3 feet.
If I was a girl, I'd be after that. Okay.
Modern peregrine falcons in size. Over 300 million years ago, these giant insects were
How much money do I bet they're going to show an Ark Survival clip?
They held the title of apex predator of the Carboniferous skies until the end of the Permian period, when the first gliding reptiles emerged. And truly, their large compound eyes, providing nearly 360-degree vision, allowed them to spot prey from above and below. Additionally, their strong legs, with spines for capturing prey, were features of very aggressive and dangerous predators. It's believed that their prey often included the aforementioned giant butterflies. Their adaptability to different environments allowed Meganeura to employ a dual hunting strategy.
Bro, that thing is scary. That thing will eat you, bro. That thing will literally eat you. It's a 3-foot long goddamn dragonfly that's pissed off that it's this dude. Its descendants can't eat you, but they want to.
They could perch at the proverbial watchtower, waiting to ambush potential prey or actively pursue it in flight. Fast and agile predators, they excelled at sharp aerial maneuvers, deftly avoiding obstacles while chasing their targets. While giant dragonflies did not have formidable opponents in the air, living on land presented challenges even for the mighty Pulmonoscorpius, especially when faced with another colossal creature known as Arthropleura.
Arthropleura's, bro. I still to this day am afraid of Arthropleura's and Ark, man. Every time I bring it back to Ark, but those things are like I hate centipedes and millipedes as they are now. Make them 8 feet long, it's just over. Like there's just no way I'm okay with that. Fuck no, bro.
A titan among terrestrial invertebrates, Arthropleura could terrify anyone with its appearance and size. It's the largest millipede ever to exist, and simultaneously the largest terrestrial invertebrate in Earth's history. The smallest members of this genus reached up to 12 inches in length, while the largest specimens reached an astonishing 8.5 feet and weighed 110 pounds.
You know it's bad when he starts with the smallest.
Compare this to the longest living millipede today, Archospirostreptus gigas, which only grows to 13 inches.
Fuck no,
Their bodies consisted of 30 armored segments.
Why they got armor, bro?
6 feet wide, with a pair of legs.
Dude, it's just like, it's like you created the most horrifying creature you could possibly create. That's all this is. It's literally just the worst thing ever. Like, that's just awful.
Like many arthropods, Arthropleura periodically shed its exoskeleton when it outgrew the protective outer shell. A new, stronger one would grow in its place. It's believed that Arthropleura had an extremely durable protective exoskeleton which could shield its encounters with predators. However, it's worth noting that such confrontations with other animals were very rare, since the Carboniferous period wasn't known for having many predators. Even giant scorpions would likely hesitate to attack a millipede several times its size. No fossil fragments have been found of the...
I guess that makes sense though if we think about it, because this is a time period where there's so much like forests and like trees. Like I think most things kind of just evolved to being like herbivores because it made sense. And then the few things that created were predators are just the most scariest, horrifying things ever. Giant scorpions were a thing? Yes, giant scorpions, giant millipedes. The scorpions were like a few feet long or something. Like that shit's so
head and
messed
mouth
up.
Parts of these giants, so the diet of the larger specimens remains uncertain. However, scientists speculate that these crawling manifestations of insectophobia likely fed on decaying plant matter and seeds.
Oh, thank
Presumably,
God.
Young individuals were likely strictly vegetarian.
Thank God.
Adults might have occasionally treated themselves to decaying meat or even preyed on small animals. But the unique nature of the Carboniferous jungle does not stop here.
Never mind.
Among the swamps, another predator lurked in anticipation of small reptiles and amphibians. It looked like an unusually large spider, although it wasn't a true spider. It was a distant relative, a sea scorpion known as Megarachne.
Bro, what? No. I hate the bugs that look thick and meaty, bro. Oh!
Its incredible resemblance.
That's the ugliest spider I've ever seen ever, bro. It looks like a squid that got through the scariest legs I've ever seen.
The spiders initially misled paleontologists when they first came across its fossilized remains, prompting them to presumably give it the name of Megarachne, which translates to big spider. However, after some time, it became clear that Megarachne was a sea scorpion of a noteworthy size. Its body length reached 1.8 feet, and its unique structure allowed Megarachne to feed using a method called sweep feeding. With paddle-like appendages, it would scrape through soft sediment in aquatic environments like swamps and rivers, capturing and consuming small invertebrates such as worms, insects, and smaller arthropods.
Bro, is this shot AI? Like, this shot sucks.
Occasionally, it spoiled itself with terrestrial prey like reptiles and amphibians. However, the land animals were likely faster than Megarachne and were therefore less accessible prey. It appears that this sea scorpion would hide in a burrow or river, waiting for victims that came too close to its deadly lair. As for active hunting, its ancestor, Pterygotus, a giant sea scorpion...
What? This shit can't be real, man. The Pterygotus?
that lived over 400 million years ago fared much better. This species was not only more dynamic, but it was also larger than Megarachne.
Honestly, that's kind of cute.
Its length was almost comparable to the height of an average human, 5.2 feet.
Cute, this one,
and if you think this arthropod is unusually large, that's only an illusion. Compared to the giant named Hippotopterus, Pterygotus takes a back seat. The length of the largest Hippotopterus specimens could reach 6 to 6.6 feet. They were likely record holders as the heaviest of their kind due to their broad and compact bodies. This giant's feeding method was not that different from that of its smaller relatives. It was still the same sweep feeding method, except their diet may have included larger reptiles and amphibians. And no,
that fish is ugly.
The limit for giant arthropods. The largest representative of this kind can confidently be considered Jekalopterus, which lived 400 million years ago.
Dude, the Jekalopterus. I didn't know there was scorpions underwater. I guess it makes sense, right? Like lobsters are somewhat similar. They just don't have a tail that stings. But I never like could imagine this would be terrifying. Like underwater, if I saw a 4-foot long lobster, pretty much, with a poisonous tail.
It reached a size of about 7.
Okay, they just showed the scariest video ever, and then showed this. This is like a seal with an exoskeleton and crab legs.
7.5 to 8.5 feet, making it one of the largest arthropods ever discovered. This giant's primary tools for defense and hunting were its claws.
It has so many claws.
They could be approximately 1.4 feet long. and were powerful enough to grab and easily crush their prey. However, such a large size did not equate to massive weight, due to the simplicity of its anatomy, and despite having a length comparable to a car, the weight of a Echolopterus likely did not exceed 220 pounds.
Dude, you imagine fighting a 200-pound scorpion? Like, I'm not...
Not all creatures of the Coniferous period were affected by the giant gene. Amid the humid prehistoric jungle, where enormous dragonflies filled the skies and the waters harbored giant scorpions, there were other beings, creatures so tiny you would struggle to spot them underfoot. Given the name Trigonautabida, these can be considered prototypes of the first spiders in history. The smallest members of the species were just a few millimeters
long,
flea, while the largest grew to 2 inches.
Like That's so cute.
These
Are you
were
kidding
the
me?
earliest terrestrial arachnids known to science, having appeared over 400 million years ago. Long before the Carboniferous period, they were fully adapted to breathing air and no longer dependent on water. Their appearance was not too dissimilar to modern spiders. The body was divided
That's pretty different. It looks like a flea.
into a cephalothorax and an abdomen segmented and covered in chitinous plates. Their legs were also similar to spiders. However, unlike modern spiders, they could not spin webs. Their cephalothorax was protected by
not
a
a fucking
carapace,
spider, bro.
earning them the nickname armored spiders. These were some of the smallest predators of their time, hunting soft bodies invertebrates like worms, for example. They likely didn't use venom for hunting and instead relied on grabbing their prey with their legs, holding it in place to consume it. It's possible that they also fed on plants, not unlike certain mites that, for reference, had a similar appearance to Trigonautabida.
It looks like it. Like those
The Carboniferous period was a playground for evolutionary experiments. Unique, gigantic, and often dangerous creatures dominated the air and land. Yet perhaps one of evolution's most fascinating experiments of this time period was conducted underwater, creating some of the most well-armored creatures of the era.
Prehistoric Lyme disease? I know, man. It's evil.
Lepidocaleus was an ancient worm species that lived around 400 million years ago on the territory of modern Australia.
Now we're going to big-ass worms. We're getting desperate here.
They thrived on shallow reefs and fed on organic waste. Measuring only a fraction of an inch in length, these creatures could only be observed in detail under a microscope. However, they have another more memorable nickname, the Excalibur worm.
Why would you call it that?
This name, inspired by the legendary sword of King Arthur, was earned for good reason. Externally, they resembled heavily armored knights, covered in overlapping plates of calcite crystals that extended along their entire body. This armor provided extremely durable protection. Beneath the crystal layer was a light exoskeleton, similar to how knights wore chainmail beneath their armor. Additionally, the Excalibur worm could curl up into a ball, protecting its unarmored and therefore vulnerable body parts. The sharp edges of its crystalline armor made it even more formidable to potential enemies, as they would protrude outward when the worm curled up. Few creatures were capable of harming these armored worms. Biting through their crystalline shell was nearly impossible, and swallowing them was not a great option either. Evolution provided these worms with flawless defenses, but in the end,
Loki looks like you.
At a significant cost. Even this solid protection that guaranteed safety from predators had a downside. The heavy armor limited their mobility, making it difficult to search for food or disperse to new habitats. As a result, the Excalibur worm left no noteworthy descendants. Their ultimate extinction coincided with the mass extinction at the end of the Devonian period.
They really didn't make it, huh?
Amphibians began to diversify, and reptiles evolved into forms much like modern-day lizards with a backbone, allowing them to live and move on land. These amphibians were also huge, and some species were predatory, resembling modern-day crocodiles, armed with sharp teeth and reaching lengths of almost 6 meters long.
Nope. Nope. You looking at this picture right now? Nope. Do you fit in its stomach like almost standing up? Almost standing up.
And like modern-day crocodiles and alligators, some evolved to have a thicker, scaly skin, which solved the problem of their bodies drying out if they were out of the water too long. And for the first time, amphibians evolved to lay amniotic or air-breathing eggs on land. And that changed everything, since these animals could now live out of and away from water sources. The Carboniferous period gave way to the Permian period.
You ever think about why humans don't lay eggs, man? It would be so much easier, dude. I'm on team women here. Like, imagine a woman, you just lay an egg, and then 9 months you just chill with the egg, make sure it's warm, and then it's done. Bitch, what? Yeah, you're telling me you'd rather give birth to, like, you hold it and, like, gestate it for 9 months, or you just lay an egg, it grows inside the egg until it's able to come out and help. You have eggs inside of stuff because of evolution. I know you have eggs inside of you. I'm saying I would rather lay a damn egg. Did you know that stingrays lay eggs inside themselves and it hatches when they have a live birth? So that's just normal then. That's just a live birth. How big would the egg be though? No, you would do it. Well, I guess it would have to get big. You'd be laying a fucking goose egg, bro. I'm gonna be honest. It would be a big fucking egg. It would be a big fucking egg, but it'd be better than the alternative. I feel like it's super painful now. Do you think other animals think it's painful to give birth? I feel like, why is it just us?
Period that began approximately 300 million years ago, just 50 million years before the dinosaurs. All the continents during this period existed as one large landmass called Pangaea. The first large plant-eating and meat-eating animals evolved during this time. Some of these creatures could be mistaken for dinosaurs, but they were actually more
if our eggs aren't fertilized, we shed them along their uterine lining, technically laying an egg. But you know that you're just making semantics, women stuff, okay? But I'm saying, like, I want to literally fucking have women, like, I don't really want, okay, I'm just saying, I think I would prefer that if I was a woman. If you are laying eggs, there's no good sex? Why? I don't...
Be related to mammals and reptiles.
You want women to lay eggs? Yeah, I want women to lay eggs. That's so damn wrong.
One of these bizarre creatures was Diplocerapsis.
I already did earlier,
it looked a little like a salamander that averaged around 1 meter long.
That is adorable.
Its head was shaped like a boomerang. Another new reptile on the planet was the iconic Dimetrodon, which grew to about 5 meters long and had a large sail on its back.
Dude, you can ride this thing into battle like a horse.
Which is likely used to regulate its body temperature. During the Permian period, mammals were increasing in
dominance. What the hell is this thing, bro? What are we cooking here? What are you riding that thing into battle? Like I just said. This thing is crazy though. This is wild. It's like a hippo, but with like got like a tiger legs. I don't even know.
The biggest of these were creatures classified as Gorgonopsians, which were a class of giant bear-like animals that all had different teeth that were specialized for different functions.
Oh my god.
These animals could be either herbivores or carnivores and vary in size from less than a kilogram to more than a ton.
No, dude.
One group of these creatures were known as cynodonts. Their name means dog-like teeth. And these animals had social behavior, and there is some fossil evidence that shows they hunted in packs. In the oceans, fish with true bony skeletons evolved. Sharks and rays flourished, as well as sponges and coral. On land, insects evolved with adapted mouthparts that allowed them to pierce and suck. But around 252 million years ago, the Permian era came to an abrupt end by a cataclysmic event that caused mass extinction. In 2001, scientists made a chilling discovery. A massive comet or asteroid, similar to the one that put an end to the dinosaurs, wiped out the giant reptile predecessors 200 million years earlier.
Bro, all right, we're getting a little bit... I feel like at a certain point, the theories are just all like every 100 million years, just an asteroid. That's all we can come up with. There's got to be something else that happened one of these times, you know? I'm all for this asteroid theory, but like, dang, every time, like, that's so lame to think that every single time we've lost all these animals and shit, it's just another asteroid came, we can't do anything about it, done, everyone's done. I mean, I know it's not that simple, but still, like, we gotta have something else.
How did scientists come to this conclusion?
COVID? Like,
molecules of helium and argon gas were found locked in carbon in high proportions that could have only come from space. It's estimated that the asteroid or comet was between 6 and 12 kilometers wide in diameter. Researchers say the
That's
strike
too big.
would have released the
Yep, that's
energy
too big.
1 million times greater than the biggest earthquake of the last century.
Yep, too big.
Aside from this discovery, there's some evidence that current-day Siberia and China experienced volcanic eruptions on an unimaginably massive scale. And those eruptions created dust and ash
That's what I
clouds
heard a lot.
that blocked out sunlight.
That killed a lot
Not
of
only
them.
that, but over 1 million years, 3 million cubic kilometers of lava poured out of the ground, covering the entire planet in a layer 10 meters thick.
Dude, that's crazy.
The asteroid impact, combined with volcanic
The
activity,
entire
was the
world got 10 meters thick of lava. What do you even do in that situation, man? What would humans even do? We'd probably build like a big ass wall. What's up, Pickle? What's up, bestie?
proverbial
What's up, bestie?
blast from a double-barreled shotgun. The Earth was once again a very unhappy place. The combination
Damn.
of these two events resulted in what's called the Great Dying. 90%
I remember this.
of all marine animals and 70% of all land animals that were alive during this time perished.
I guess that makes sense though, because if they block out the sun, what would really be killed by that the most? Most of that would be killed is the like plankton and stuff, right? Like I feel like the plankton, and that's like causing all the food chain in the water to go down, because that stuff's already kind of at a disadvantage for getting the sunlight, and then it just loses that extra bit.
The extinction event of the Permian-Triassic era
Was Margaret dying? You're
252
so
million
edgy,
years
Pickle.
ago
Oh my God.
marked the beginning of the Mesozoic era of the Triassic,
Yes!
Jurassic, and Cretaceous period, which lasted
What's your guys' favorite, Triassic, Jurassic, or Cretaceous? I think the Cretaceous is my favorite.
186 million years. During the Triassic era, there was one vast supercontinent called Pangaea, which was mostly vast deserts with a hot and dry climate, surrounded by a huge ocean called Panthalassa. Dinosaurs would begin to evolve during the mid to late Triassic period.
See, I would love to
When
go
we
to
talk
this
about
time
dinosaurs,
period.
we immediately imagine towering and thundering animals like Tyrannosaurus rex. But new research shows that the dinosaurs and their pterosaur relatives evolved from extremely small ancestors. Proof of this theory was discovered in Madagascar, when a newly discovered reptile species was
Madagascar
found,
mentioned? Holy shit.
named Congonophone kelly.
That's the cutest fucking thing ever, dude. Oh my god. That is so adorable. I want one of these little guys. Dude, he has the eyes of a loving creature. Some creatures you can tell they have eyes of a killer. This is not
Or
those
tiny
eyes.
bug slayer. It lived some 237 million years ago and stood just
That's an interesting question. If you were alive with dinosaurs, would you rather be a human or a dinosaur in that time period? I feel like that's tough. I just feel like the human smarts aren't that useful in this situation. You know, like I feel like me knowing how to fucking edit a YouTube video just doesn't really come in handy anymore. I feel like I'd rather be a dino and actually survive, maybe.
10 centimeters tall. It's one of the first small animals found from the root of the Ornithodora family tree and is an important discovery. The miniaturization event in which it lived served as a survival strategy for early ornithodorans, and wear on its teeth showed the tiny creature preyed on insects. This
Died in
eliminated
2
the
days?
need for
Yeah, if
them
you're
to
lucky.
compete with their relatives for meat. Furthermore, researchers
that's
of this
adorable.
tiny dinosaur relative showed that feathers and other fuzzy skin coverings found on the later true
my
dinosaurs and
God,
pterosaurs
that's so
likely originated to protect the tiny dino ancestors from the extreme climate of the mid to late Triassic period when the first dinosaurs evolved. The Triassic
That's
marked
so
the rise
cute.
of the reptiles, mainly the archosaurs or ruling lizards, and therapsids or mammal-like reptiles. For reasons unknown, the archosaurs had an evolutionary edge, muscling out their mammal-like cousins and evolving by the mid to late Triassic into the first true dinosaurs.
I always think it's so interesting how, like, the mammals back then, they just kind of were losing, so they stayed small because they couldn't really do much. So for the longest time, they just kept being these small little creatures like squirrels, fucking, not actually squirrels literally, but like stuff like that. It's so interesting how that even is a thing. What's up, Smelly?
Which is Eoraptor and Herrerasaurus.
Herrerasaurus.
Dinosaurs were divided into two main branches: Saurischian, which means lizard-hipped, and Ornithischian,
I'm trying to get some
or
lizard hip, bro.
bird-hipped dinosaurs.
I don't see a difference, bro. I really don't see a difference.
Eoraptor was at the root of the Saurischian family
so
tree.
Cute.
It was only 91 centimeters long and weighed about 11 kilograms.
Oh, bro, it's like a little baby. I need head from a dinosaur so bad, bro. Huh? Huh? Actually, though, W. Because he's willing to say what he's thinking, you know? I feel like what dinosaur would... No, we shouldn't even talk about this.
It had long legs that allowed it to run fast, and
like
its front
compies.
paws had sharp claws that helped it to grab prey. Herrerasaurus
so
was more advanced
one?
in evolution than the Eoraptor because it had
I'm not
going to
speculate on...
It had a large skull.
I'm not going to speculate on whether or not which dinosaur would do the best. I'm going to need a Brachiosaurus. Yeah, I'm going to need a Brachiosaurus. I don't know, man. I like a little aggressive. I think I might need a fucking Giga. Bass type fish. You need a raptor. You would be the bald one? Okay, what do you even think we're talking about, Pickle? What do you even think we're talking about? You're just saying I'm bald. What also, aren't all the dinosaurs bald? What are you even saying? You're just bringing up random shit right now.
And its jaws were armed with the sharp teeth of a carnivore. It averaged in length from 3 to 6 meters and had 5 fingers on each paw with blunt claws.
Bro, but like, it's as tall as like to your like chest, but it's fucking 10 feet long.
Styracosaurus was another
Gay
early
Mustachosaurus?
true
Yeah, we're
that was
done
about
here.
2 meters long with a large skull
We're
as
done
long as
here.
its femur.
Dude, none of you guys played Ark Survival Evolved and it fucking shows, man. I grew up on those streets and those beaches. If you aren't a bald man, you're a pedophile. What?
And there were 13 to 14 sharp
What?
teeth in its upper and lower jaws.
I did W Jade.
It has short front paws with 5 fingers. It had long hind legs that allowed it to run fast. Styracosaurus was a
Is this
predator
Dad?
that weighed about 30 kilograms. And although this dinosaur was kind of small,
That's
it
not
probably
30
had
kilograms,
no trouble
bro.
dealing with
No
larger prey.
shot.
Eoraptor, Herrerasaurus, and Styracosaurus are prime examples of the rapid evolution of predatory dinosaurs 225 million years ago. But at the same time, the first plant-eating dinosaurs appeared in the fossil record.
Oh, bro, look how chill that is.
The first
Wait, hold on.
plant-eating dinosaur.
Dude, imagine you go to the, like, oh, I'm gonna hang out at fucking Fred, bro. He got a big back. We're all gonna lounge on his back while he walks. Dude, that's sick. All the people, they just get to chill on his back forever. They just get to hang out, and they're probably all friends, dude. Oh, that makes my heart warm.
Dinosaurs appeared
I bet you
in the
they're all
fossil
friends.
record. Pisanosaurus was a 1-meter dinosaur
That's a
that weighed
quick
2
little
to
guy.
9 kilograms and had
So
closely
many.
spaced teeth, forming a continuous edge
you are
for
pretty big.
grinding plant matter. By the late Triassic period,
I guess
there were at least
everyone's
15
hanging out on your
different
back.
dinosaurs. During the Jurassic period, Earth's climate changed from hot and dry to a much more
Ooh.
humid and subtropical climate. Forests
Ooh,
of ferns,
now we're back to Florida.
cycads, and conifers began to cover the planet, and the air
Conifers.
was warm
Bro, the
and
plants
moist
still being
with
around
tropical
exactly the same
breezes.
is crazy.
During the beginning of this period, the breakup of the supercontinent Pangaea continued
Dude,
and
that's so
accelerated.
unfortunate.
Laurasia, the northern half of the continent, broke up into North America and Eurasia. The
Why is it called Laurasia? What's the L for? Lithuania?
southern half, called Gondwana, began to break up during the mid-Jurassic. The eastern parts, Antarctica, Madagascar, India, and Australia, split off from the western half of Africa and South America. New
That's a
oceans
terrible. That's
split off.
present days. This map is terrible. What? Who drew this present day map, man? What are we looking at here? I'm American, but like this does not look right. The Panama Canal is not that big. I feel like
From the western half of
Can't
Africa
be
and
it.
South America.
present day, but no UK.
New
Absolutely good
oceans
ending.
flooded the spaces in between. Huge mountains rose on the seafloor and pushed sea levels higher onto the continents.
Wait, that's just normal. Sorry.
It was all this water that created the
My fault.
humid and subtropical climate. Deserts began to turn green. Palm tree-like
Flag confirmed.
cycads and conifer trees, such as the
I
Araucaria
knew
and
it.
pine, were abundant. The oceans became full of diverse and abundant life, and at the top of the ocean food chain
Ichthyosaurus.
were the marine reptiles.
Well, those
The
things are creepy.
plesiosaurs, with their long necks and
Plesiosaurs,
paddle-fin
dude,
flippers.
they're horrifying.
Among them were giant marine crocodiles, sharks, and rays. Ichthyosaurs, squid-like
Ichthyosaurs! Oh, I said that! I said that.
cephalopods, coil-shelled ammonites, Sponges,
Ooh,
snails, and mollusks were abundant in the ancient oceans. Coral reefs grew and expanded quickly in the warm waters, and microscopic plankton increased rapidly to the point that they may have turned parts of the ocean red.
Bro, what? The ocean looked pink before, like a little beautiful pink. Hated this era. It was so boring. I know you're old enough that you probably lived through it, Siggy Stinker Stink, but this is sick, dude. Imagine there's like aliens that are looking at us from 200 million light years away and looking back and they think that we're pink. They come here like, oh, Mom, I want to go to that planet. It's pink. And they come here and it's fucking blue. Actually depressing.
The earliest known bird, Archaeopteryx, took to the skies
so
in the late
like,
Jurassic, likely evolved from an early Coelosaurian dinosaur. Archaeopteryx had to compete for airspace with pterosaurs, flying reptiles that had been buzzing the sky since the late Triassic. Meanwhile, insects such as leafhoppers and beetles were abundant, as many of Earth's earliest mammals scurried around the feet of dinosaurs. It was at this time that the dinosaurs began making their mark in a huge way.
It's so unfair, man. Getting born that big, you just win, I feel like. Like, who's really messing with you?
Quadrupedal plant-eating dinosaurs gradually evolved into multi-ton giants. The plant-eating sauropod named Brachiosaurus was 16 meters tall and stretched out to around 26 meters long and could weigh as much as 25 tons. Another herbivorous sauropod giant named Diplodocus was 27 meters long and weighed between 30 to 50 tons.
They're just horizontal.
The sheer size of these dinosaur giants may have stopped the attacks of a bulky meat-eating dinosaur that walked on two powerful legs who also lived during this time. The ominous Allosaurus.
Oh my god, bro. It's like you guys get to see in my mind and see everything wrong with me. I just know dinosaurs so well.
This huge carnivore ranged in size from 7 to 12 meters long, weighed nearly 2 tons, and had 16 sharp teeth in its upper and lower jaw. And like many predatory dinosaurs of the Mesozoic era, Allosaurus constantly grew, shed, and replaced its 3 to 4 inch teeth. And this dinosaur was fast. Models suggest that Allosaurus could run up to 34 kilometers per hour.
Dude.
Fossil evidence shows that Allosaurus
34 miles per hour?
Stegosaurus, and the plant-eating dinosaur fought back, punching holes right through Allosaurus's bones with its spiky clubbed tail. It could be why Stegosaurus had a pretty long run and survived all the way up to the late Cretaceous. But there were new predators that would come along that were as equally terrifying as the Allosaurus. The North American Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, of course, that's us. Bro, I feel like in movies and shit, they always show the T-Rex being so much bigger than what it is. Like, this is just two people. Like, that's all tall he is, just two people stacked on top of each other. Like, it's really, they're not that scary compared to a lot of other things, I feel like. And they have tiny little bitch-made arms, man.
Could grow 12.5 meters long
6 feet people
and weighed
so
up to
like
8
two
to
of me.
10 tons. Although now some say it might have weighed half of these estimates. But the T-Rex wasn't
That's a
alone
fat one,
in
bro.
the meat-eating
my
dinosaur
God.
category. In fact, it was either outclassed or equal to two other sharp-toothed monsters. The South American Giganotosaurus, which had the same type of build and weighed 9 tons, and the 10-ton Northern African Spinosaurus. Still, the T-Rex was a mean and nasty predator,
that one's
if not
so
downright
big.
unhygienic.
Yeah, I thought they were way bigger. I know everyone thinks T-Rexes are these giant, like, monsters, bro. They're not. They're obviously big, but people in the movies and stuff show them as like fucking 50 feet tall. Like they're not like that.
That shards of rotten bacteria-laden meat was constantly lodged in its closely packed teeth, which gave the animal a septic bite that would eventually be fatal to its wounded prey. Of course, this process would have taken at least several days or weeks, and another T-Rex would probably reap the rewards. Scientists examining the T-Rex skull determined it had the bite force of between 1,500 to 5,000 pounds per square inch, and could take bites of flesh in the 225 kilogram range.
200 kilograms of meat in each bite? Bro. Dude. It's like a whole one of my Twitch chatters, bro, in one bite.
But Tyrannosaurus Rex, like Allosaurus, had problems with prey itself. It lived in the same region and time period as some armored plant-eating dinosaurs. One of the most iconic dinosaurs next to T-Rex has to be Triceratops, which means
those things are so cute and tiny, bro. They're not even that big.
All Triceratops had 3 horned skulls. 2 massive horns were above the eye socket, and 1 smaller horn was over the nose.
Not that
weighing
big.
around 6.5 to 13 tons. The biggest Triceratops was 9 meters long from nose to tail. The tips of their shoulders were 3 meters off the ground.
Only 10 feet.
Triceratops had teeth arranged in dental batteries, and each individual tooth was stacked in a vertical column of 3 to 5 teeth. These formed rows with 36 to 40 tooth-loaded columns. This means that a single Triceratops could have 800 teeth at its disposal. It had a narrow beak and powerful jaws that allowed it to grind down tough vegetation and trees. It's one of the last non-avian dinosaurs to evolve at the end of the Cretaceous. Ankylosaurus is another of the most famous armored dinosaurs. It was the largest ankylosaurid and the last of its kind. It's thought to have lived right up to the end of the Cretaceous period. The body of Ankylosaurus was covered in bony plates. It had a beak and teeth and 4 horns that projected backwards from its head. Its tail ended in a club, which provided protection from predators. This would have been useful since Ankylosaurs lived alongside Tyrannosaurus rex and other meat-eating predators. At some point during the middle of the Cretaceous period, dinosaurs from the ornithopod family evolved into the popular hadrosaur, or duck-billed dinosaurs.
Looks like a chicken.
They were large, oddly shaped, low-slung vegetation eaters with tough beaks on their snouts, which were used for shredding vegetation. These dinosaurs are believed to have lived in herds and were capable of walking on 2 legs. Sauropods became even bigger by the late Cretaceous period. You may have thought that Brachiosaurus and Diplodocus were big, but by the time the late Cretaceous period rolled around, there was another dinosaur that existed, which could possibly be the biggest land animal that's ever walked the earth.
Brontosaurus.
Argentinosaurus. This behemoth could be 30 to 40 meters in length and weighed between 50 and 100 tons. It was a member of the Titanosauria, the dominant group during the Cretaceous period, and was a herbivore like its earlier.
You're wrong, so confident. I'm sorry. They're close.
There was also a strange new breed of dinosaur that lived 20 million years before they all went extinct. They were called Pachycephalosaurus, or bone-headed dinosaurs, and have a bizarre-looking skull with horns on the snout and around the base of the skull. These could have been used to fight off the last of the big predators, or even to show dominance over their own species. Of course, there are more than 700 different dinosaurs that have been found so far, but not enough time to cover them all in one video. There are some dinosaurs that lived in the colder regions, when they were further south and within the Antarctic Circle during the Cretaceous. During this time, there could have been some snow and ice, and temperatures as low as -10 degrees Celsius during the 3-month-long dark winters. There were a variety of different dinosaurs living in this polar zone. In 2014, a skull section and upper and lower jaw bones were found of a miniature T-Rex called Nanoxaurus hoglandi. It's believed that many dinosaurs had feathers to protect them from the elements, and this tiny T-Rex cousin was about 6 meters long. It's now believed that all species of Tyrannosaurus rex had feathers to protect them from the elements, and Nanoxaurus was no different. Other dinosaurs like the horned and duck-billed dinosaurs, along with other small feathery predators, parrot-like oviraptors, and a small herbivore named Lielanosaura, lived in the polar region as well. But their time would soon come to an end.
And they're dead.
Everyone talks about how dramatically the dinosaurs went extinct, but judging by the whopping 165 million years they survived, they might just be the most successful vertebrate animals to ever exist on planet Earth. In fact, some dinosaur relatives are still around on the planet today. Modern-day birds are, in fact, descendants of feathered dinosaurs. And you might be surprised to learn that crocodiles are the closest living relatives to birds, as they shared a common ancestor. The two groups are the only known survivors of the archosaurs.
That's crazy.
We all know what happened to the dinosaurs, and if you missed our video on the day the dinosaurs went extinct, we'll put a link in the description for you.
That's a good video. That's a good video. I love dinosaurs. If you can't tell, I grew up always loving dinosaurs. I think they're so interesting. I would love to like go and meet them. I feel like it just sucks that you grew up, you watching Jurassic World and stuff, and like Jurassic Park, and I play all these dinosaur games. Like it was all, I could literally sit here and watch dinosaur shit all day. Like dinosaurs are just so interesting. But anyways, if you guys are watching the video, thank you for watching the video. Leave a like, subscribe. Appreciate you watching.